Right. So I'm sure you might be now clear about the usage of article a and an. I have this particular portion in this video. I am going to cover the usage of the as an article. So let's come on to the rule number 1 of using the as an article. What it says is use the after mentioning something or someone for the first time, or if the context tells the listener which object or person is being talked of. Now, as you remember, based on my first video, I had this particular sentence which was usage of a. The word or the sentence basically talked of I saw a rainbow, because this was the very first time I was trying to express myself. So when I talk about it that I saw a rainbow yesterday, in further communication I would probably put it this way: the rainbow was wonderful, beautiful, marvelous. In a way, that is how I have to stress that I am speaking about the rainbow further. That's why the usage of article the has to come into the picture now. So this basically talks of this particular point, or the rule talks of when should the as an article be used. Alright, so this particular sentence says the rainbow that I saw yesterday, in a way, was beautiful. If you remember, I just spoke of I saw a rainbow, and now when I have to further speak of the same rainbow, I would then use the article the rainbow was. So the rainbow was beautiful. In a way, I consulted an optician. So optician basically talks about the sound optician. That's why we have to work out with the article an. That's where I would rather say I consulted an optician. The optician examined my eyes. That's how it has to be worked out. Alright, coming to rule number 2. The use the when there is only one of someone or something. One of something or someone refers to maybe a designation, something which is not common, maybe like internet, as I have written it here. So say for example, the internet has brought people closer. Now what am I probably talking into this sentence of usage with the as an article is I have to see that something is unique of its own. So that's where I would rather use the as an article. Same is the case with designation. This is a unique designation. I guess because it is not common, that's why it makes it a unique designation. That's where we would probably use the Prime Minister is visiting United States, based on the criteria onto which the Prime Ministers were supposed to meet. That's where we would probably use the with someone or something which is only one of its kind. Correct. Coming on to the third point of using the basically talks of use the with superlative adjectives. Now superlative adjectives basically talk of something you have objectified but into the supremacy of that kind. So if we say Everest is the highest mountain on earth. Now if I'm talking about Everest amongst all the other mountains in the world, we believe as per its calculation and the height, Mount Everest happens to be the highest amongst all the other natural phenomena in mountains. That's where I would rather use the with superlative adjectives. That means the supreme, the most, the highest in a way. That's where Everest is the highest mountain on earth. Second, we forgot the most important thing. Now the point is, amongst all the things which we had on our agenda, that is where the most important happens to be the priority, the highest in the priority. That's where we would rather use the as an article amongst all the other things to be done, where the highest or the most important always is supported with article the. That's where we will satisfy this particular point number 3. Coming to point number 4 of usage of the as an article, talks of use the with some objectives to talk about groups of people. Now, when I talk about groups of people, I am referring to a class per se. That's where I would definitely want an article the to be associated with that kind of an expression. Based on grammar, we specifically talk of the when we emphasize some aspect of expression. So here, as an example, I have the rich don't know how the poor live. So now when I talk about the rich, I am referring to particular class of people or a group of people, specifically talking about uh, I'm so sorry, the specification of the class is to be highlighted. That's why the rich, the poor. Alright, last but not the least, we must look after the elderly. Now, elderly happens to be a particular class of people age wise. That's where the elderly. The young can be a particular group of people, those who belong to a specific age group. That's why the youngsters, that is how we need to address. So I'm sure with 1, 2, 3 and 4, these 4 points, I am here to give you certain clarification on the usage of the as an article besides a and an. Last but not the least, what I really want you to emphasize and understand the nitty-gritty of usage of the is how to pronounce the article the when it is the and the. Always remember, when you probably talk of the usage of sound of the with the words, remember consonants and vowels. When you talk of vowels and the sound of vowels, as I talked about during the usage of an, taking it out of that, we would probably work out the. Yes, you heard me right. The will be the sound of this word or this article when we talk of usage of of this particular word with sounds which sits with the vowels. So for which you'll have to practice. So the has to be worked out with words which sits with a vowel amongst all of the vowels, and the 5 vowels which we have. That's where you'll have to work it out. I'm sure you will be able to work and get and grasp the best of the knowledge. So try it out and do your best. Thank you.